And I was thinking, MS has taught me a lot about myself now, because before MS I was always on the go, very impatient. Now I have to have patience, especially around people that are helping me. I can't get frustrated with them because it's not their fault. Like, I don't know, sometimes I don't explain things well, and I think, am I speaking English? But it's just, it came out all wrong, and I can't really get mad because they're doing the best they can to help me. And I notice I sometimes, become short with some of my loved ones, and I shouldn't, but that's how it goes, unfortunately. But I have learned, patience and gratitude, because, before, it was you didn't need anybody. Yeah, you always need somebody, but, otherwise, you can do everything yourself. Didn't need to have help with anything, but now, I need help with everything. Well, I can still feed myself. I can brush my own teeth. I can brush my hair. Wash my face. But everything else, dressing, I need help with showering because I can't reach some places. And that was really hard for me because, it's I can't say it, but it's vulnerability. There you go. And I didn't, I didn't want to be vulnerable in front of anyone because then they would see my weakness. But unfortunately, MS is my weakness. And having it also taught me how strong I was. I didn't know I had the inner strength that I have. I never felt sorry for myself, but I was, I noticed that when I didn't have MS, I was extremely hard on myself with everything. Didn't matter what it was, I was my worst enemy. When I got MS, I had to learn to have patience with myself, to love myself, to treat myself well, because it's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just something that just happened. And I have to live with it. And I do. I'm not going to say that there are days that are not hard. Every day you have something hard. Like today, when I woke up, I had a horrible headache. It has now subsided some, so thank God, because I was able to come on and do a video and talk to you guys today. But I think about everything, and yes, I miss the way my life was. I do wish I was still able to be normal the way I used to be, because I feel like I would be a better mom to my son, at least go to his games and stuff. I don't get to go. I get to watch them on video when, they record them and stuff, and I wish I was in the stands cheering him on, and it hurts a lot, but, something I gotta do. Don't get me wrong, I hate it, but, what am I gonna do? It's, a lot of people are like, oh, you could just go. Not really. It's a long process. Now you gotta get me in the truck. I don't have a transportation van for myself that my significant other could hook me up in and take me wherever. They're too expensive. And the way prices are with everything, and insurance barely covers anything anymore. It's rough. Especially when you're living on a fixed income, a lot of the things are rough. Of course, when you find out you can get some things for free, you're like, yay! But otherwise, no. You actually get bummed when you can't get something, that would really be helpful. And, I know there are people out there that feel the way I do. Because it's hard. It is really hard. You would think it would be a lot easier for disabled people to be able to have, free things that are a necessity. You gotta pay for everything. I don't know. Maybe one day. Probably when it doesn't matter anymore for me. But, all you can do is just thank God for another day. That's what I do every morning. I thank Him for giving me another day to enjoy with my family and my friends. I've met a couple friends, good friends actually, that are a big part of my life now. I did notice though when I was diagnosed with MS, not at first, but when I became disabled, I started not being able to do a lot with the friends I had. So it's kind of like we kind of drifted apart. But I'm around people that understand me, and that makes me happy. That we can relate to one another, and it's like they treat me like a normal person. It's not like, oh, here's this person in a wheelchair. No, they treat me like a normal person. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but that's one good thing that I've had so far with MS. Is I made some good friends. I have a beautiful son. He loves me unconditionally, and I love him so much. I have extremely well support system. My significant other, he supports me 100%. It bothers him a lot that I am this way, but bothers me too. Can't do really anything about it. Well, I hope you guys like this video. I just needed to talk about how I was feeling. When I sat here and thought about it, I'm like, having MS taught me a lot. It taught me how strong I was. It taught me how to love myself. It taught me how to have patience. That was a big one, because I didn't have that before. And it actually taught me how to laugh and smile again. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like to, subscribe, and you can join me on my journey. Okay, till the next time. Bye, guys.